The countdown is on, and the world of currency watchers is buzzing. For years, whispers about the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong have floated through online forums, private chat groups, and financial circles. Most people brush them off as rumors, dreams of overnight wealth that would never materialize. But here we are in 2025, and suddenly that background noise is starting to sound more like a drumbeat. Banks are upgrading systems. Financial insiders are hinting at something big. And for the first time in over a decade, the possibility of a real, measurable currency revaluation doesn't seem so far-fetched. So what's really happening behind the scenes? Why are so many eyes locked on Iraq and Vietnam right now? And what could it mean for the people holding these currencies? Let's break it all down, clearly, calmly, and without hype, right here on Iraqi Dinar News Today. From rumor to reality, the dinar and dong take center stage for more than 10 years. The idea of a currency revaluation for Iraq and Vietnam lived in the shadowy corners of financial speculation. It was the kind of story that sparked hope and heated debates, but lacked the one thing that makes markets move: credible action. That might be changing. In recent months, signs are emerging that both Iraq and Vietnam are laying down the groundwork for monetary reform. Quiet adjustments are happening inside banking systems. Technical upgrades are being tested. Currency exchange departments are being trained on new procedures. And this time, those steps aren't just rumors, they're being noticed by credible observers in international finance. The mystery of contract rates, what are they really? Now, one of the most talked about and misunderstood topics in the dinar community is the idea of contract rates. Here's the simple explanation. A contract rate isn't a public exchange rate you'd see on your bank's website. It's a private, pre-negotiated exchange rate, often much higher, offered only to select individuals, corporations, or institutions that meet very specific criteria. In other words, while the general public might exchange at the regular rate, certain qualified parties could access a premium rate through special arrangements. This idea has been floating around for over a decade, but what's making 2025 stand out is that it's no longer just talk. Multiple financial insiders are hinting that these contract systems may already be programmed and ready to go, waiting for official activation. The dinar, Iraq's path to economic power. To understand why Iraq might revalue its currency, we have to look at what's been happening on the ground. Iraq has spent years rebuilding, slowly, painfully, but steadily. Despite decades of conflict, the country's most valuable asset remains its oil reserves, which continue to generate massive revenue streams. That steady inflow of foreign currency gives Iraq a level of financial stability most nations would envy. And the Central Bank of Iraq knows it. Officials have been publicly discussing currency reform, emphasizing the need for a stronger, more respected national currency and a modernized financial system. Many analysts see these actions as the final preparation steps toward aligning the dinar's value with Iraq's true economic potential. If that happens, if the dinar finally reflects the country's genuine oil-backed strength, we could be looking at a major revaluation event. And that's why 2025 feels different. The steps being taken are not about speculation. They're about structure, modernization, and readiness. The dong, Vietnam's silent rise. While the spotlight shines brightly on Iraq, Vietnam has been quietly building one of the most resilient and fast-growing economies in Asia. Over the past decade, Vietnam transformed itself into a manufacturing powerhouse, attracting global giants like Samsung, Apple, and Nike to build and produce within its borders. This incredible industrial growth has boosted Vietnam's trade volume and cemented its role as a key player in the global supply chain. Yet, despite all that success, its currency, the Vietnamese dong, remains pegged at a very low value. Many economists believe it's undervalued, intentionally kept that way to maintain export competitiveness. But if the government decides to let the dong catch up to its true worth, analysts estimate a possible move from its current fraction of a cent value to somewhere between 2 and 4 cents. That might sound small, but for holders of millions of dong, it would be life-changing. Behind the curtains, the banks are preparing. What's most fascinating about the recent chatter is that banks themselves seem to be getting ready. There have been credible reports of software updates across foreign exchange systems, internal memos discussing sensitive rate adjustments, and even staff training sessions designed to handle high-volume currency exchanges. This is not what banks do when nothing's happening. This is what they do before something big. Many experts describe 2025 as a setup year, the period when institutions quietly finalize the logistical and technical framework necessary for a sudden rate change. Why 2025 matters. The perfect storm of global economics, so why does everyone keep pointing to 2025? The answer lies in timing, a rare alignment of global and local factors. Iraq is expanding its oil projects and rebuilding key infrastructure. Vietnam continues to rise as a manufacturing hub. The global economy is shifting, with countries diversifying away from the US dollar and exploring digital currency systems. All these elements combine to create what analysts are calling the convergence year, a period when the stars finally align for nations like Iraq and Vietnam to reassess and reset their currency values. The speed factor. When it happens fast. If either country, or both, move forward with revaluation, it won't happen slowly. Sovereign currency revaluations are typically swift and confidential. Sometimes they're announced and executed overnight. That's why so many experts stress the importance of being prepared in advance. When the announcement comes, systems can flood instantly. Banks could face overwhelming demand. And those who haven't organized their paperwork or bank connections might simply miss the opportunity. Preparation. What holders should be doing now if you hold dinar or dong. Preparation isn't about hype, it's about smart organization. Here's what experts consistently advise. Step 1. Get your documents in order. Locate your original purchase receipts, proof of authenticity, serial numbers, and dealer information. Make secure digital copies of everything. These records will be essential for bank verification and anti-money laundering checks. Step 2. Build relationships with multiple banks. Don't rely on just one institution. Different banks may have varying levels of readiness, and some may offer access to private contract rates faster than others. Step 3. Understand the tax implications. If a revaluation leads to a significant gain, expect taxation. Consulting a financial or tax advisor beforehand ensures you're not caught off guard by a large, unexpected bill. Step 4. Filter your information. The internet is full of false claims and fake intel. Focus only on verifiable sources, official statements from central banks, international financial institutions, or reputable banking communications. Preparation doesn't mean you're blindly believing the rumors. It means you're ready whether the event happens tomorrow or not at all. The realistic counter scenario, what if nothing happens? Now, let's be honest. There's always a chance that 2025 comes and goes without any major revaluation. Governments may delay their decisions due to political pressures or changing economic priorities. Global instability could push reform further down the road. But here's the key. Smart investors don't bet everything on one possibility. They stay informed, they stay flexible, and they use preparation as a tool for financial growth, not blind hope. Even if no revaluation occurs, the act of organizing your finances, studying markets, and understanding international currency systems puts you ahead of the average investor. Why this moment feels different here is why optimism is spreading right now. Both Iraq and Vietnam are showing simultaneous strength, something that hasn't happened before. Iraq's oil production is stable and expanding. International investments are flowing back into the country. The central bank is tightening financial controls and reducing corruption, all signs of a maturing economy. Meanwhile, Vietnam continues to outperform regional expectations. Even amid global slowdowns, its GDP growth remains strong, and its currency stability has earned quiet respect from global investors. These combined signals suggest that something is brewing. And unlike the speculation of the early 2010s, this time there's real economic muscle behind the conversation. Technology changes everything. Another reason experts believe a revaluation could happen faster and more efficiently today is technology. Modern digital banking systems allow for instant updates, real-time monitoring, and secure traceability of transactions. That means if Iraq or Vietnam does decide to make a move, banks could implement new rates in hours instead of weeks, reducing chaos and making the entire process more controlled and confidential. This level of readiness simply didn't exist 10 or 15 years ago. Key signals to watch for those tracking this closely. Here's what to keep your eyes on. For Iraq, any official announcement from the Central Bank of Iraq about new exchange protocols or monetary reform. For Vietnam, changes in foreign exchange policies or new partnerships with international financial institutions. Globally, watch oil prices, international trade agreements, and the trend of de-dollarization, all of which influence revaluation potential. Each of these signals adds another piece to the puzzle, another confirmation that something big may be approaching. The bottom line: hope, preparation, and patience. Let's bring this home. The story of the dinar and dong isn't about get-rich-quick dreams. It's about economic evolution, two nations striving to take their rightful place in the global economy. Could 2025 finally be the year it happens? Possibly. The momentum, infrastructure, and timing all seem to point that way. But even if the event takes longer, staying informed and prepared ensures you're ready when the world changes overnight. Hope is powerful, but preparation is stronger. Direct hit final thoughts. Whether the revaluation happens tomorrow, next year, or later, the lessons here remain timeless. Be informed, be organized, be patient. The world of finance rewards those who pay attention and prepare without panic. And when that long-awaited moment arrives, if it truly does, those who stayed calm, careful, and ready will be the ones who benefit most. The countdown continues, and the global financial community is watching every move. Thanks for watching Iraqi Dinar News Today, your source for clear, grounded, and factual updates on the dinar, the dong, and the ever-changing world of currency revaluation. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates. Stay informed, stay ready, and as always, we'll see you in the next report. Disclaimer: the information provided on Iraqi Dinar News Today is for educational and informational purposes only. We do not provide financial, investment, or trading advice. All content shared on this channel is based on publicly available data and personal opinions. Viewers are advised to do their own research and consult a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Iraqi Dinar News Today is not affiliated with any government agency, bank, or financial institution.